All right, family hangs caution, retards in area sign.
Now, why would you do this? Opie? Oh, you didn't?
Why would I do it?
I know, I made it sound like that. Why would you do this?
Oh.
Meaning the General Yu, you know.
Well, I think they did it
General Yu from the Chinese Army. I can't talk without thinking something else this morning. I can't find the story either.
Well, we just got the audio clips, which are...
Oh, there it is.
Which are good enough.
It's,
Yeah, why did this family do this?
There was a conflict next door. The kid is like, how old is he, 12 or 13?
The poor little 13-year-old Colton. Little Colton is developmentally delayed. His mother says he's more like a 3-year-old in a 13-year-old's body.
That goes beyond delayed.
That's a little more than delayed.
Yeah, that's brick wall.
Yeah, what do you really get out of a 3-year-old when you're trying to talk to them?
Developmentally delayed. If you're 13 and you have the brain of an 8 or 9-year-old,
delayed.
You're a little behind.
A little delay.
If you're 13 and you have the brain of a 3-year-old, you're finished.
Yeah. Delayed is one thing. Not showing up for the event is another.
He's headed in the wrong direction.
I'm going to be late, and I'm not showing up. That's the difference. Little 13-year-old Colton, his mother said he's like a 3-year-old. He looks normal, but once you start talking to him, you can see he has these problems. That's one of these tricky type mentally damaged children. They trick you sometimes. You ever do that when you're a kid or you're just driving around or something and you ask, hey, how do you get to Main Street? And the kid looks completely normal, and then something comes out of their mouth, you just go, oh, boy.
And something like this.
That's why you gotta love the waterheads.
I'm like the mayor around here now.
Excuse me, which way to Elm Street?
I'm like the mayor around here now.
Okay, I'll be driving along, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Now I'm forced to ask the black guy. Thanks.
Could you tell me where I am?
We welcome you most regally.
Yeah, but that's not telling me where I am.
Silence, whippersnapper.
Morons.
All right, here's the audio.
Morons.
That's what my mom used to call them.
I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate.
Morons.
Geniuses would be silly.
That would be.
Here's the story, guys.
Oh, I'm not taking the sign down. Last night was the first night of peace we've gotten a long...
A cardboard sign hanging in a tree directed at a boy with developmental disabilities, and the boy's mother isn't happy.
This sign now that we feel is very discriminating towards my son.
The cardboard sign is hanging in a tree in the central Utah town of Nephi.
And it's also being denounced tonight by the advocates for the disabled. Sam Penrod has the story.
Penrod.
Oh, that's Sam Penrod.
That's a horrible name to have through school. Little Penrod.
That's
when he's in school.
That's his news name.
Here comes Penrod.
His real name is Faggot Teeth. Changed it to something less embarrassing. And incidentally, this is the same sign that was hanging up in the Voss yard for a long time.
You gotta love the balls of the neighbors, though. They hang this sign in the tree.
Yeah, how bad could it have gotten?
But I heard something. They said that, good. Last night was the first night we had a good night's sleep.
So apparently, there was a problem. I don't know what the problem was.
Well, the waterhead is keeping everyone awake,
How?
obviously.
He did something like, he assaulted the daughter, he threw rocks at her. He did something like...
What's the sign going to do that's going to silence the kid?
I think maybe
they can't read.
Well, it's obviously for the parents of the kid. I'm not saying the guy's right, but I think he said that the parents aren't controlling the kid.
Yeah.
You know,
that could be a
maybe
problem.
they should put a fence up or something. I don't know.
Put a fence
I'm
up.
sorry, if your kid's wandering,
Why don't you put him in a dog run, for God's sake?
I think
put a leash on him.
By the way, this is the second greatest neighbor story ever.
Yeah.
The first one was in Brooklyn, where this guy, he painted a yellow brick road that led from the midget's house.
Midgets that lived next door out to the street.
Out to the street.
And would sing Follow the Yellow Brick Road to them every time they walked out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah.
Out the screen. He'd have his lips pressed up against the screen from the inside.
Yeah.
Follow the yellow brick road.
And they were black, so he would also throw racial epithets at them as you sang. Yeah. It was just, this guy was a horrific
It was
man.
one of the greatest neighbor stories ever, though. Whistle while you work as they're going off to work.
Guy's a classic.
He was a classic.
But this guy decided the sign was enough to remedy whatever the problem is. I don't know. Maybe they discuss it.
By the way, we don't like debating whether it's wrong or right. We just like to find the humor in this stuff.
We just think it's funny.
So just bear with us, please. How can you not think a yellow brick road outside a midget's house is
hysterical?
Is not funny or whatever. All right, here's the rest of the audio of the retard sign story.
It's for the disabled. Sam Penrod has the story.
Deanie and Keith, the boy's family noticed the sign pointed at their home on Wednesday night, and tonight it is still there. That's despite our visit to the neighbors who put it up. And advocates for the disabled are outraged, calling it insensitive and in the same category as a racial slur.
Oh, boy.
Well,
the racial
is
thing.
retard a racial slur? Because it's retarded. When something is retarded, it is being held back. It is being retarded.
You're right, technically. Yeah, I'd have to say this one is. Because it's almost like hanging a sign up that says spooks around. I mean, look, technically a spook is a ghost, but everybody knows the racist meaning of that. It's like...
Yeah, but no. If let me put it this way. If you were indeed living at a haunted house and you put a sign up that said, spooks, please leave, of course you'd be insensitive and stupid if you didn't know it had another meaning like that. But if your intent was toward the ghosts and not maybe your lovely neighbors, you could actually argue that point. This person, retarded, is focused toward the retarded boy.
Okay, how about this?
Whose brain is retarded.
How about this? Jews around. Jewish sign. Say in a Jewish neighborhood, like Jews. There's nothing wrong with saying Jews. That's not a slur at all.
No.
But if you have a sign in your yard because Jewish people moved in and said Jews around, the context is racist. That would be considered very racist.
I like using Juden.
Of course you do.
Seems...
All right. Hey,
no. And why would you want to get rid of a tribe of people that take care of their houses and lawns as well as the Jewish people do?
I wouldn't.
I love them as my neighbors. Love the Jews.
Here we go. More audio. What the sign says, and we find out boy can't read.
He tried to eat it.
3-year-old.
So it was a big piece of cardboard candy. Look at that sign. Yummy. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're on your way.
You're a good guy. Yeah, I am a good guy. Yes, you are.
This is 13-year-old Colton Heaton, who is developmentally delayed. His mother says he is more like a 3-year-old.
He looks normal, but once you start talking to him, you can see that he has
He's a blithering idiot.
problems, and that he is just a loving little guy. He thinks we're all just a great big family.
But now this cardboard is hanging in their neighbor's tree, spray painted with the words, "Caution, retards in area." His mother says it's fortunate Colton can't read the words.
Oh, thank God he can't read it.
This neighbor's a classic.
The guy had to read it, too. Caution, retards in area.
What the news guy is saying is, thank God that's accurate. This kid will be really offended. I don't like the way he's saying disabled. Say he's mentally retarded. That's what he is.
Yeah, let's go to Jimmy the trucker. Jimmy.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, Jimmy.
This kid, what is he? He's 13, but he acts like he's 3. I was just wondering, what's he like when he was 3?
That's true.
Like a turnip lying on the floor with a blank stare.
Or he was like a spermatozoa.
Yeah, I was going to say zygote.
He just swam around the house with
lay around on the floor, shaking his feet.
How old is he? Well, he's 3, but if you talk to him, you'd think he's -7.
Meet my son. He's a zygote. All right, Jimmy, thank you. Orlando from Jersey.
Hey, what's up, bro?
Hey.
What's up there? Listen, from what I heard on the Radio Boop show yesterday afternoon, supposedly this kid was tormenting the neighbors, driving them crazy. The parents went to, the cops. They wouldn't do nothing for him. They tried to go to city council. Nothing would happen. So they finally put up this sign just to get the attention of the parents, see if they would stop. And now all of a sudden everybody's getting all offended.
What was the kid doing wrong? I know he was doing...
Yeah, what was he doing that was so bad?
Well, he was apparently throwing rocks at the neighbor's kids, like tormenting them, driving them crazy, making noise at all hours of the night, going through the neighborhood. Like, real weird stuff. I mean, if the kid is 3, supposedly acting like he's 3 years old or mentally able, like 3 years old, kind of like Jimmy over there, why would you even let him?
There's no reason to, sir, there's no reason to hurt my feelings.
I love you.
Okay.
All right.
See you.
Later, guys.
And by the way, Jimmy he trimmed his eyebrows.
I did. They look too nutty before. What does like a professor?
Crazy.
All right. What are you doing? Solving a puzzle?
So this kid was driving the neighbor's batty.
But that's just something kids do also. I remember kids that weren't retarded used to throw rocks at other kids. You'd have rock fights, things like that. You pick up a rock and throw it at a kid, or you make noises. I used to live next door to a deaf family. Oh, brother. All you'd hear at all hours. And they weren't even like, please tell me the problem.
Please tell me they could hear just enough so they had to really yell.
They would sign to each other, but they would also mouth out the words, but they didn't know that they were making noises. So it would come out like, at all hours, you'd hear this coming out of the house. And what are you going to do? Hang a sign? Deaf people next door making a racket? No. You throw rocks at them.
That's right.
You don't do anything. You deal with it. They're your neighbors. Maybe, what did they try to confront the parents and say,
so.
Excuse me, your son, I understand he has got some problems, but he's throwing rocks at my young gal.
Well, we learn a little more with this clip.
Thank goodness.
And as we were filming the sign, we could see the neighbors who put it up were outside. So we approached them for their side of the story.
Why did you put that sign up?
I've been harassed for 6 months. My daughter's been assaulted.
By who?
By the young boy. We got pictures and everything, and they would not press charges because he is handicapped.
The neighbor claims Colton threw a rock at his young daughter, and other neighbors told us they have frequently found Colton wandering onto their property. Still, the Disability Law Center says using offensive words is the wrong way to handle a difficult situation.
People with disabilities are probably the last group for whom we continue to use language that is hurtful and offensive.
No.
Instead of being someone who's mentally retarded,
I'll vouch for that.
With a
maybe number 5 on the list.
And that means that really what we're valuing is the person.
Listen to the way this. If anyone wants to know what a revolting thing political correctness is, listen to this dumb bitch trying to dictate the way you describe something.
Yeah.
Don't say it honestly like he's mentally retarded. This way we're valuing the person?
The person?
Really stupid? Is that what it says you value the person? Because you phrase it longer? What a dope.
She said it's fair game. She goes, mentally handicapped people are still fair game, apparently. The last people that you can make fun of or have offensive names for and not really getting that.
You know what that woman is, to be politically correct? She's an irritating whore American.
Ooh, very nice, Jim.
Maybe a neighbor could put a sign up next to her house.
Whore around, and her husband will nod and go, "You got it, Buster."
Listen to this guy, Tony in Brooklyn. Of course this comes from Brooklyn.
Right.
Go ahead, Tony.
I am so ashamed to tell this story, but I used to teach special ed adults, and these guys were all like real profound, retarded, nonverbal. And these guys would punch you, beat you, kick you, beat the shit out of you.
Whoa.
Hey. People are going to miss your nice story.
Yeah, if you curse, they're going to miss some of your story there, buddy.
So in order to get back at these guys, we had to come up with a way to do it. And we take them into the bathroom, say it's time to wash your hands, and give them like a little C shot right to the old nutsack, and nothing would, and that wouldn't leave a mark. And I'm going to hell for that story.
You'd kick him in the groin.
I give him a little, like a little.
Yeah,
to calm him down.
You kick him in the groin to calm him down.
Yeah. All right, I'm going
because it wouldn't leave any marks.
All right, thank you,
They're
sir.
tuning up the retards in the bathroom.
Yeah, let's go to Rob in Connecticut. Rob.
Morning, boys.
Hey.
Hey, I was just saying, don't be too hard on this poor kid. He's on track to finish kindergarten by the time he's 32. All right, later, boys. You guys suck.
All right, very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Well, disabled advocates for the disabled.
God, with the language, developmentally, that means we value the person.
Right.
Shut up.
When I was growing up, people always use that word in front of me and stuff. They always called me retarded.
Someone who knows how hurtful that word can be is Tom Brownlee, who today is an advocate for those with disabilities.
I hate that word. It was very offensive, and I just want them to see that people with disabilities deserve the respect that they are entitled to.
Both Brownlee and Nelson are hoping the community will stand up against any behavior that lessens the role of people with disabilities in society.
Regardless of a cognitive disability that I may have, I'm a person.
Yeah, really?
And people do not deserve to have signs pointed at them, making fun of them, scaring them, harassing them.
He can't read it, stupid. He doesn't care about the sign. He thinks it's a big sugar cookie. Dumb bitch, shut up.
You make a very valid point. Not the sugar cookie. He can't read it, so it's not offending him.
Of course not. He thinks it's a giant Christmas tree, and that's just a lovely decoration. The poor lad, he's running around going, Santa's coming, and his family's going, oh, shut up.
It's insensitive to the family. I believe it's hurtful. Like, I'm sure the parents of this kid have enough bad feelings about it that they see that sign and feel bad. But for this advocate to come out and say it makes the person feel bad or it demeans the person is wrong. Jimmy's right. That person has no clue what the hell that sign means.
Anyone who considers himself an advocate should have a boot driven into their groin.
I hate the word advocate.
I'm an advocate. Are you?
Advocate.
And by the way, she said that developmentally disabled, that makes you value the person. How is that valuing the person more than saying somebody is mentally retarded?
I don't know.
But because you take an accurate phrase and you use it to be derogatory, all of a sudden the phrase is no good anymore?
Yeah, even if you want to use it for good.
I'm not talking about racial slurs, but I'm saying in an honest thing, like saying somebody is mentally retarded.
Yeah, they're mentally retarded. Oh, that's bad. You used to call your friends that when they do something stupid.
Retard.
Don't be retarded. You're being a retard.
How much fun is that going to be? Don't be developmentally disabled.
That guy.
Really? Yeah. He's disabled.
Take all our fun away, why don't you?
You're acting handy-capable.
Right.
You want to hang out with that retard?
Speaking of which.
Hey. Steve C. comes in right when we're talking about retards.
Nice pirate earrings.
Pirate earrings.
R.
Arr.
Steve C. R. The sea. I love the sea.
Yeah.
Like the wardrobe hasn't changed in easily 3 years, but you just noticed
I
these
just
things.
noticed. You know what it is? When you walked in and the window's behind you,
yeah.
And I saw those two little stupid globes with light shining through them, I wanted to remove them with a stick.
Would you try, please?
No.
And you got your hair cut, didn't ye? Didn't ye?
I certainly did.
Arr.
We have to take your booty. There, that's terrible. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
All right, here's the last clip.
Arr, your crew died. How did that happen?
Arr, you're on my ship.
He just came in to hand something.
Arr. No, stay in the hull, Captain Bligh. I'll handle it.
I'll handle this.
That's right. For those of you just tuning in, an ass has just entered the room.
Because you're in my effing crow's nest.
That's way too inside for Buffalo.
I know.
Buffalo, you'll catch up.
You gotta catch on.
You'll catch up.
Just Steve's retarded.
All right,
that's all you need to know.
Let's go to Doug in Virginia.
And now he's a pirate.
Doug.
But he was a bear. Now you know.
He's a bear pirate.
A bear pirate.
What's up, Doug?
What's up?
They raise the sails with claws.
That's right. He's going to be in Romania, but instead of like the hook through his nose, they'll have it in one of his stupid earrings. Have to dance for tourists. Have to tiptoe dance.
Doug. Hey, Doug.
Well, I can't go over that shit.
You can. Of course you can. Give it a try.
Let's go, Doug.
And I made the dump list. Okay, so you guys are missing the obvious one with the rocks. With the retard strength, they're probably the size of pianos.
Okay.
He threw a car at my son.
Right. Now, if that's the case, there is truly a problem. Because you do know there is some type of... Is there a scientific fact behind that?
Retard
strength?
Definitely.
What is it?
No, I mean, there's probably...
Is it that you don't have the mind power, so, you know, you get the muscle power?
They don't feel pain.
Is that they don't feel pain?
They don't feel pain.
Well,
Listen to you.
They don't.
Maybe you use all
Hair Hughes.
you use all your energy. I'm guessing you use all your energy, or you don't know you're only supposed to use a little bit.
A little bit.
Or rip something.
So you twist that bunny's neck. And
Right.
Pet it. Not really.
All right, let's go to Rob in Utah. Rob.
Hey, morning, boys.
Hey there, Rob.
Morning, Rob.
Hey, this must be the same kid who used to harass me. We lived next door to some freaking retard. Used to come into our yard. We had some dogs out back there. He used to throw stuff at the dogs. Broke our windows once in my mom's car. Freaking used to chase my little sister around, and not in the good way either. And I just have to wonder if this is the same kid or not. And second of all, why is this even an issue? I mean, why is this offensive? Because he can't understand in the first place. Jeez.
How many years ago did this happen?
This must have been 4 or 5 years ago.
Well, he was 9 then, which meant he had the, if he was not 4 years ago, he had the mentality of a -1-year-old.
God, this is...
It's got to suck that you finally decide where you want to live, and you pick out the house, and next thing you know, you got a neighbor from hell.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking neighbors in general, where you're like, oh my God, I got to live next to these people for 30 years.
Throwing washing machines at you.
Right.
You got to feel bad for the kid, but it's the parent. If your kid's acting up and he's got problems, you got to kind of control him. I mean, it's like you feel bad for the kid. It's not the kid's fault.
I was part of a social experiment back in the 70s. It was called mainstreaming, where they would take retarded kids and profoundly retarded kids and put them in school to mingle with normal children.
How'd you do?
I turned out okay.
He's retarded, but he does great impersonation, so he won't throw apples at him.
You think it was the real person.
He's a Rain Man. He just... You should see Anthony when he's not on the show.
Contrary to popular belief, I was one of the normal children, okay?
Yeah.
They brought in these profoundly retarded children, and we would have lunch with them and do, like, art class with them, things like that. Not math, of course. They would eat the pencils. But we would have lunch with them and have recess with them. And there were some kids. I remember a certain few of them. One was, he had a giant head.
Waterhead.
He had water on the brain or something. And his head looked like the hiney head aliens from Star Trek. Little, like, jaw, little cheekbones, and then this giant light bulb head. And he couldn't hold his head up. So he would sit at lunch, and his head would teeter, and then go around in a circle. Like down, so the chin would hit his chest, around, so he's looking at his shoulder, and then back up straight again. And we used to make that sound when he would do it. All the kids. This is how cruel the children were. Another kid, we called him Goat Eyes. His pupils, he had some kind of mental problem, but also his pupils were wide and furry. You ever look into a goat's or a horse's pupil?
Yeah, sure.
They're not round.
Yeah,
they're kind of rectangular.
Yeah.
He had those eyes. It was the weirdest damn thing. And then, of course, there was Dally Dooley, who I've spoken about before. Dally Dooley's name was Gallagher. His last name was Gallagher, but he couldn't say Gallagher. So we'd say, what's your name? He'd go, Dally Dooley. So his name was Dally Dooley. And we used to have to play, like, recess with him, and we'd play wiffle ball, and he would hit the wiffle ball with the bat underhanded. And we'd be like, you hit it like a retard. You call him a retard. Because he'd swing like underhanded. You don't do that, Dally Dooley. Dally Dooley, watch us. And we'd have to teach these kids, or try to. But it got to the point where more kids were being made fun of than were being taught, so they stopped the program.
My problem is, why do you call them, like, what is profoundly retarded? Kind of just say brilliant things, but you're not expecting it.
I want to be judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character.
That is profound, and you're retarded.
That's right. My God, was that profound? Change his diapers. Lift your legs up, hon. I'll take you for your driver's license.
You know what sucks is the...
bird in the hand.
Right. You know what sucks? The pregnant women aren't drinking and doing drugs anymore.
Yeah.
So you don't have as many opportunities to see the waterheads.
A lot more tests that they can do early on in the pregnancy and kind of get rid of that thing.
That made high school very entertaining.
Yeah.
Hey, one more clip here before we wrap up. We're really late.
Goody.
Exploring legal options as we get back to the story.
I hope that one gal speaks up again. Oh, she's a firecracker.
We contacted Nephi police. They are working with the Juab County attorney who told me tonight he finds it distasteful and derogatory and is researching what legal options may be available since
probably.
the neighbors still refuse to take the sign down. And the Disability Law Center is planning to meet with local officials to offer sensitivity training there in Nephi.
Too bad. Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Thanks, Sam. No.
Sensitivity training.
That's another thing in this society that has to end.
Sensitivity training.
Ugh.
You can't train people to be sensitive. People are what they are. We're a bunch of animals.
We really are.
Until people accept the fact that we're just another creature on this planet, you can't change the way you think, really, or feel about things.
Just that some liberal boob is going to sit in a room and tell you how to hyphenate when you say something.
Yeah.
Don't say that. Say disabled American. Thanks. I feel much better now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Thank you.
Handy.
I feel better about myself.
Capable.
Oh.
Let's.
Does that mean he does math any better? No.
No.
Shut it.
Still a blithering idiot.
That's right.